latest on Cyclone Idai, which continues to churn through the Mozambique Channel and still moving fairly slowly. It's really capitulated in the last few hours, down to 115 miles per hour, pressure 945 millibars. It may even be weaker than that by now. That was as of an hour ago. Here's the latest CDPS information though. It still remains very much the same as what we've been talking about in the last 24 hours or so. We expect a significant landfall in Mozambique at stage 7 on the CDPS scale, which would be catastrophic if it does indeed occur. Here it is right now, a slightly larger wind field than earlier, 18.1 south, 42.3 degrees east. This is as of 6 AM Eastern African time this March the 12th. It's 75 miles from Juan de Nova, 114 from Maintirano, 201 from Morondava, those all in Madagascar, 353 miles from Quelimane in Mozambique, and 501 from Beira. At least 10 have been killed so far in Mozambique and 30 more in Malawi, which was affected by the precursor to this storm. It could deliver a further 500 millimeters of rainfall to those areas again late on this week. Yellow areas there showing tropical storm conditions expected in the next 48 hours, and this is the GFS model run showing the storm moving towards the southwest and then curving towards the west through the Mozambique Channel, and then eventually Friday, maybe into Saturday perhaps, moving into Mozambique and then stalling perhaps, and then eventually turning back on itself by the end of the weekend. Still a little bit speculative in whether this is actually going to happen or not, but the GFS is saying that it will turn around back over the Mozambique Channel as a tropical storm by next week and then sail past the southern tip of Madagascar. Sea surface temperatures right now though are certainly warm enough to sustain the intensity of this storm, and more intensification cannot be ruled out in the next 2 or 3 days as it moves over those waters, especially if it starts to speed up in its forward motion. Upwelling and dry air has been responsible for its little bit of weakening in the last 12 hours. It's still a category 3 on the Saffir-Simpson scale. That's a very major storm. The wind field has expanded a little bit as well, so the threat has not decreased. Here's another look at that wind chart there. The green areas that you saw as tropical storm force winds, there they are again by the end of the weekend associated with the storm as it slingshots around and moves down towards the southeast. Chance of tropical storm force winds now look like this. Still 60% at Juan de Nova, the storm's moving further away now, 70 something miles, 60% in Maintirano and in Quelimane now in Mozambique, 40% in Beira and 25% further inland. These are what the models are saying. The JTWC still wants category 4 eventually. That was the last forecast. I'm not sure if they're still saying that. HWRF and CTCX also want category 4 later on. Wind shear is going to really be in this storm's favour, near nil. Sea surface temperatures remaining fairly warm. Relative humidity could be a potential issue with that dry air. HWRF, you can just about note that blue line there, doesn't want a landfall from this storm at all now, which could indeed be a trend that we're seeing in the next few days. This is how the storm's been looking in the last few hours. The last 12-hour period is covered in this animation. It's been moving slowly towards the southwest. The eye has capitulated. It will try to regenerate a new one. We'll see how effective it is in managing to do that. It's fighting off dry air, especially to the western side as well. Looks like a bit of decoupling to the southern side of the storm as well there. And maybe this will be a turning point in what will transpire from this storm. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com. You can also find our YouTube channel. If you're not there already, you may well be. Good chance of that. Subscribe if you haven't. You can also find our Facebook page, search Force 13 all in text, and our Twitter handle, it's @Force13 on there. You can also help the project become even better by becoming a patron. You can see more information about all the benefits involved by visiting patreon.com/Force13. Of course, you can come into direct contact with us by messaging Fool13 on Discord at extension 9094 and Force13 on Skype, and our partners are also doing updates, Mateo e Cyclone Maurice on Facebook.